Hey y'all, so I'm back with another video. This video is going to be my worst date. I have to pour me a glass of wine because this date is really bad. And I just need to loosen up a little bit because I'm still trying to get used to being in front of the camera. But alright, so I have to think. Give me a second. Okay, so this date was okay. I met this guy on Instagram. He was from Brooklyn. Yes, Brooklyn. No shade, but yeah. So I told him that I would meet him at his house and we was gonna go to the movies and we was gonna go to Footprints. So I drove out there and he came out, and when he came out he had on gray sweatpants and a white beater. So I'm thinking to myself, like, am I overdressed? Like, I didn't know it was this type of party. Like, I'm confused. So he gets in my car automatically and I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you in my car? Like, that was never the plan. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, why are you here? Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, you wanted me to drive? And I'm like, yeah, like, I just drove all the way from Long Island. Why would I not want you to drive? Like, that's common sense. So then he's like, oh, all right, like, I'll drive. So we get out the car, we go in his car. We drive to the movie theaters, and when we get there, he's like, you want anything from the concession stand? So I'm like, no, I don't, because the thing with me is, like, I don't like popcorn. I'm not really a big concession stand girl or whatever, so I didn't really want anything. So then after that, we go inside, we sit down in the movie theaters or whatever, and like, in the middle of the movie, he's like, you good? Like, and I'm like, I'm a little thirsty. And he's like, oh, you thirsty? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you think you can give me an orange soda? So he's like, all right, cool. So I continue watching the movie or whatever. So from the corner of my eye, I see this man's hand like this. So I'm thinking to myself, like, nah, he not asking me for bread. Like, let me just keep watching this movie. That hand will go away. Like, maybe he'll come to his senses. So I keep watching and I'm just like, the hand is still there. Like, it's still there and it's waiting. Like, it's still there. So I look at him and he looks back at me like, you got any cash? And I'm just like,
oh, the ghetto. The ghetto.
So I give him a $20 bill and he goes to the concession stand. I'm watching the movie and he comes back and I don't see my drink. He sits down. I look over. This man is in the corner with a straw in my drink, drinking my shit. So I'm looking like, how long before this man notices that I see him drinking my drink? It was a long time because he didn't say anything until I said something. I was like, you want to give me my drink? And he's like, I should have got 2 straws. 2 straws? No, it's my drink. Give me my fucking drink. Like, and the funny thing is, if he would have came to me and would have said, like, oh, can I get some? I would have gave you some. But the fact that you came in and just put my drink in your cup holder and instantly started drinking it without even saying nothing to me, no, give me my drink. So he gives me my drink and he puts it down. So I keep watching. Something goes off in my mind like, hold up, where's my change? So I'm thinking, like, what I'm going to say, because I just don't want to blatantly say, like, where's my change? I should be, but I don't. So I look at him and I'm like, how much was the drink? And he's like, oh, you want your change? Damn, you fiending. Like, you fiending. Fiending for my change. Okay. So I take my change. I put it in my bag. So I'm thinking, like, all right, the movie's over. The day can't get no worse. We got plans. We about to go out to eat. Maybe shit would change. Maybe I could fill him out more. We'll see. So we're driving. I'm looking out the window. I'm like, this ain't the way to Footprints. Like, where the fuck are we going? We pull up in Wendy's. So I'm looking like, what the, like, why are we here? So he's like, oh, you want to eat inside? And I'm like, no. Why are we here? And he's like, oh, I ain't feel like going to Footprints no more. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. You don't want to go to Footprints? That's perfectly fine. Whatever. Like, I just want this date to end. So then we get to the window. And I'm texting my homegirl like, yo, this is terrible. Like, he took me to Wendy's. Like, I'm ready to go home. Da, da, da. I'm going off. So then I notice, I look up, and we at the second window. He already ordered his food, and he didn't ask me if I wanted anything. So we at the second window, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this man did not even ask me if I wanted anything. So and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I wanted something. He's like, damn, why you ain't say nothing? I said, why should I say something? Like, I'm confused. You should have told me. He's like, nah, you should have said something. And it's just like, am I on this date by myself? Like, am I alone? Am I here? Like, what's going on? So then after that, I'm like, can you tell the woman that I would want a 4-piece spicy chicken nugget? I don't know why my words couldn't come out just now. So he's like, oh, like, you do it. And I'm like, huh? He's like, I ain't telling her, you do it. Like, that's mad work. Like, you should have ordered something, da da da. And sits back to have me, like, go over him to order my food. So I did that shit because I was hungry. So I went over him and I'm like, ma'am, can I get a spicy chicken nuggets, please? And she's like, okay. And she's looking mad confused, like, what the fuck is going on? Because she see everything that's going on in this car. So we drive off. He starts bodying his food while we driving to his curb. Like, bodying, like, just going off. So I'm sitting there like, so he don't offer me my food. So I had to be like, you want to give me my food? Or, and then he's like, oh, okay. So he gives it to me. He's like, oh, but they didn't give you no sauce, though. And I'm like, no sauce? Everybody know you can't eat no chicken nuggets without no damn sauce. Like, come on. So I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, irritated. So I take my chicken nuggets and I look over. 2 minutes later, I see this man eating French fries with honey mustard sauce. So I'm like, I thought they didn't give you no sauce. And he's like, oh, this is my sauce. I asked for honey mustard. This is my sauce. So I'm like, Nash, wait till the date is over. Simmer down. It's about to be over. Just wait till the day is over. So we get to his crib. No, not even. I skipped a part. So when I see him eating the sauce, I'm like, oh, I thought there was no sauce. He's like, oh, this is my sauce. So I'm like, frustrated. So then he goes, oh, when we get to my house, you can get some sauce. I got sauce in my crib. Who the fuck said I was going in your house? I ain't going in your house.
I'm not coming in your house. It's not happening. No.
Why would I come in your house after this date? Like, why would I go in there? So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, this man is delusional if he thinks I'm going in his fucking house. So we get there to his crib, and I have never rushed out of a car so fast in my fucking life.
Real quick, let me just get it. My God! Leave me alone. Get him, guys!
Mind you, I had to pee. I had to pee bad. But I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to hold it down until I get home because I ain't going in that crib. So I got in my car. He's like, oh, text me when you get home. Blah, blah. And I'm just like, all right. Girl, I got in that car. I blocked his ass so motherfucking fast. Like, he probably think I'm dead. Okay? No, let me not say that. Because I did see him after. Like, I seen him again after everything. And I think it was like in a club. And he tried to buy me a drink or something. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, now you want to fucking buy me a drink? What happened in the movie theaters when you had me paying for my orange soda? Listen, okay? That was the most frustrating date ever. And the funny thing is, I don't know how I held my composure because I really wanted to go off. But I held it down. And to this day, I don't even know what's good with that man. Like, I have not heard from him. I don't even know if he got Instagram anymore. I don't know. But I went MIA on that ass because I was just like, hell fucking no. It was a scene. Yo, I really thought it was Hell Day. You remember Hell Day? I thought the fucking midget was gonna come out with the devil's costume. Like, you're on Hell Day. Because I really thought I was. Like, I kept looking around like, is he joking? Like, this is not a joke. This is real life. Nah, it's real life. He really did that. But, yeah, that was my worst date. And the funny thing is, I have another date. It was really bad. Really bad. Like, worse than that date. Because there was really no fucking date. Like, I can't even explain it. that's a whole nother video. But if y'all want to see that video, you comment below. I can make a video for that too. But that shit is embarrassing as fuck. So no judgment zone over here. No judgment. But yeah, that was my worst date. That was my worst date. And you know, you live and you learn. Like Nash now, I would dip. I'll be like, alright, I'm out. Like, boogied up out of there. But old Nash, naive, stupid. Like, oh, maybe it's gonna get better. You know, that shit did not get better. But alright, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what other videos y'all want to see in the bottom. I think I'm gonna do another Skims video because I got some more stuff. And yeah, I just love her stuff. I'm sorry, but I think I'm doing another Skims video, and then you guys let me know what other videos you want to see, and I could do them. Okay. All right. Bye, y'all.